You don't remember dying. That's the first thing. One moment, you were a highly respected Buddhist monk, the kind who had students lining up just to hear you breathe in a slightly more enlightened way than everyone else. You had the knowledge, the robes, the reputation. The only problem? You knew it. Deep down, beneath all that meditation and sutra chanting, you were absolutely, disgustingly proud of yourself. And apparently, the universe has a very specific punishment for monks who love the smell of their own incense. You wake up on the side of a mountain, not in a cozy monastery, not in heaven, not even in hell, because technically you practiced Buddhism, so they can't send you there. Instead, you've been dumped into the Tengu, the unofficial seventh realm of existence that the cosmos invented specifically for people like you. Congratulations, you're a Tengu now, and your nose is approximately the length of a baguette. Let's talk about that nose for a second. It's long, it's red, and it's the universe's way of branding you with the word arrogant right across your face. In Japanese, hana ga takai. Having a high nose literally means being full of yourself. So now you're walking around with the physical manifestation of your ego jutting out 3 feet in front of you. You look down at the rest of yourself. Crimson skin, wild white hair streaming in the mountain wind, massive feathered wings sprouting from your back, and you're wearing what appears to be full mountain priest cosplay. A little black box hat called a token strapped to your forehead, orange robes, a pom-pom sash with 6 fuzzy decorations around your neck, and the most ridiculous footwear in all of Japanese mythology. Single-toothed wooden sandals called Tengu Geta. One tooth. 1. You're basically balancing on stilts, designed by someone who hates ankles. But here's the thing. You're powerful. Like, absurdly powerful. You flex your wings and launch into the sky, and the sensation is nothing like you expected. It feels like treading on soft cotton, the air cushioning every step as if the atmosphere itself rolled out a carpet for you. Below you stretches an endless canopy of ancient cedar and cryptomeria, the peaks of the Japanese Alps stabbing through clouds like teeth. This is your mountain now, your territory, and everything on it answers to you. Within days, you discover abilities that would make any anime protagonist weep with jealousy. You can shapeshift into anything: a monk, a beautiful woman, a random bird, a log if you're feeling lazy. You can read minds, speak directly into people's thoughts without moving your lips, teleport across mountains in the time it takes to blink, summon winds powerful enough to flatten villages, and create illusions so convincing that actual Buddhist monks have fallen for your fake Buddha routine more times than you can count. Oh, and you have a fan. The Hauchiwa, a gorgeous feathered fan made from 7 eagle feathers that's basically a cheat code for reality. Wave it one direction, hurricanes. Wave it another, shrink someone's nose. Flick it sideways, and you can literally set things on fire. It's like the Swiss Army knife of supernatural artifacts, except instead of a tiny pair of scissors, it controls the weather. You settle into mountain life surprisingly fast. A gang of Kotengu, the lesser, crow-headed variety of your kind, show up to serve as your retainers. They're smaller, feathery, kind of dumb, and they look like someone duct-taped a crow's head onto a man's body and called it a day. They're not great conversationalists, but they patrol your territory, deliver messages, and occasionally try to eat hikers who wander too close, which you have to manage like a supernatural HR department. No, Karasu, we don't eat the pilgrims. We kidnap them and tie them to treetops. There's a protocol. Speaking of kidnapping, that becomes your primary hobby for a solid few centuries. Buddhist monks are your favorite targets, specifically the ones who remind you of yourself. The pompous ones who think they've cracked the code to enlightenment but are really just collecting clout in feudal Japan. You snatch them mid-prayer, fly them to the highest treetop you can find, and leave them dangling there like spiritual piñatas. Some you drop in remote locations hundreds of miles from their temples. Others you possess, making illiterate monks suddenly scribble kanji like they're taking dictation from the cosmos. It's petty, it's chaotic, and honestly, it's the most fun you've had since discovering you could summon typhoons. But the real masterpiece is the Tengu Daoshi. Late at night, when woodcutters and travelers are camped in your forest, you and your crow-faced squad unleash the signature Tengu prank. The thunderous crash of a massive tree falling, branches snapping, the ground shaking, wind howling. Someone even screams ikuzo like a phantom lumberjack. The humans bolt upright, terrified. And when morning comes, not a single tree has fallen, not a branch out of place, nothing. You've been doing this for 400 years, and it has never once stopped being hilarious. Centuries pass, and your reputation grows. Other Tengu acknowledge your power. You attend gatherings on mountaintops where the great Tengu of Japan meet to discuss territory, settle disputes, and generally flex on each other with increasingly elaborate nose sizes. The hierarchy is strict. At the top sits Sojobo, king of all Tengu, ruling from Mount Kurama near Kyoto with the strength of 1,000 of your kind. The guy has white hair down to his waist, wings that block out the sun, and the kind of presence that makes every other Tengu in the room suddenly very interested in their own sandals. You're not Sojobo level, but you've carved out a respectable domain, and the local humans have started leaving you offerings of rice cakes and fish at the base of your mountain, which is honestly quite nice. Then one day, something unexpected happens. A boy shows up in your forest. Not a monk, not a pilgrim, a child. Specifically, a scrawny kid named Ushiwakamaru whose father was murdered by the Taira clan and who's been stashed at a monastery on your mountain to keep him alive. Most children who wander into your territory end up returned with scrambled brains or don't return at all. But this kid walks straight into the deepest part of your forest without flinching, looks up at you with the kind of reckless courage that would get him killed in literally any other scenario, and says he wants to learn how to fight. You could eat him. You could drop him off a cliff. Instead, something stirs inside you that you haven't felt since your monk days. Respect. Real, genuine respect for someone with absolutely zero regard for self-preservation. So you train him. Swordsmanship, staff fighting, war fan techniques, battle strategy, the whole curriculum. Night after night, you spar with him in moonlit clearings, your blade moving at speeds no human eye should be able to track, and somehow this kid starts keeping up. You teach him to read the wind, to feel an opponent's intent before the strike lands, to move through a battlefield like water through cracks. Your Kotengu watch from the branches, equal parts impressed and annoyed that a human child is getting better treatment than they ever did. You pour centuries of martial perfection into this one scrawny mortal, and years later he emerges as Minamoto no Yoshitsune, one of the greatest warriors in Japanese history. People write epic poems about his supernatural fighting abilities, and you're sitting on your mountain thinking, yeah, that's my student. With a pride that's definitely going to add another inch to your nose. The ironic thing about being a Tengu is that pride is simultaneously your power source and your kryptonite. You're brilliant, you're deadly, you can control the weather with a fan, but tell a clever human your fan is less impressive than their bamboo stick, and suddenly, you're trading your invisibility cloak for a fake telescope like the world's dumbest garage sale. It happens more than you'd like to admit. Humans are surprisingly crafty when they want your stuff. And your ego is basically a rob me sign written in neon kanji. One folktale has a kid convincing you that a plain bamboo tube can see for miles, and you just hand over your kakaremino, your literal cloak of invisibility, for it. You fly home, try the telescope, see absolutely nothing, and have to live with that shame for the next 300 years while your Kotengu pretend not to snicker. By the Edo period, something shifts. The humans below start seeing you differently. Instead of cowering in fear, they build shrines in your honor. Temples start placing your masks at their entrances as protectors. Festivals spring up where hundreds of people parade giant Tengu masks through the streets. In one town, 200 women carry a massive Tengu-faced shrine float through the streets as a prayer for safe childbirth, which you did not see coming. In 1860, the city of Nikko actually posts an official government notice. A real bureaucratic document on actual paper, politely asking you and the other local demons to relocate temporarily because the shogun is visiting and it would be really inconvenient if you kidnapped anyone during his trip. You've gone from being a feared demon to getting a politely worded eviction notice from middle management. Thousands of years in, you realize you've become something you never planned to be, a guardian. You protect the forests from those who would harm them, punish the arrogant, train the worthy, and haunt the mountains with the kind of commitment that would make any homeowners association proud. Your nose hasn't gotten any shorter. If anything, it's grown another foot. But the pride that put you here in the first place has mellowed into something almost resembling wisdom. Almost? You still do the phantom tree falling thing every Tuesday night because some traditions are sacred. And recently, you've noticed humans making video games where digital versions of you swing swords and summon crows on glowing screens, which honestly you find flattering in the most nose-extending way possible. You lean back against your ancient cedar, fan in hand, one ridiculous sandal balanced on a root, and think, not bad for a monk who couldn't keep his ego in check.